It's really.
Get in your games. Hold on. Okay, stop. Okay, you need to stay in that corner and I'll get you in the place. Thanks. Okay. Should be going now.
But for them,
So, yeah.
The waiting room, I thought he was coming.
Sorry, let's do quality.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
My first.
Okay, I'll get him. Okay, Scott, come sit down. Come sit down.
Yeah.
Okay, here's games. Let's set this up.
Hi.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
I was trying to get this movie, because.
You got it. Or Oscar Revisu. Is that? Hey, Brandy. So she's not in the waiting room just yet. Okay. She's not under the name Oscar Arvisu, right? He's gonna be there.
When did you so bad?
Okay. Guess what, Margaret? If you pull on that, then it breaks the screen. Do you see that? So you can't pull on that. Do you want to be in? You can't pull on that, okay, Margaret? What's that? Yeah, I know. Yeah, tiny. Not anymore. Okay, go over the.
It was so close to be shut.
Brown soup, right?
Yeah.
Okay, stop wiggling the cord because then it breaks. It breaks. Look where you put your phone. Can you spin it? Guess what? Scotty's playing games too. And watch that. Oh, crap.
Her passport changed for the Central City Council 28 days ago.
Let's see. Through one of the many meetings where we had to fix things. Did it save it?
Maybe.
Okay.
I'll hit you up later.
Okay.
I only used it for this meeting. Okay.
Once you get
You
in.
have the, did you plug into this? Yeah.
I think you do, and
Oh, I do.
then you join the meeting,
Okay.
and then you're like the. At least that's how we did it before. So then I'm just basically recording it, and then you're filming it.
Is it, oh, it's a Google Meet link or? Oh.
I should take off the Google Meet thing.
I'm running the audio on mine, or are you running on yours?
Yeah.
On mine, because it should be,
Okay, I'm turning the audio.
oh wait, actually, no, do it on yours, yeah, do it on yours, yeah.
Not on my audio.
Yep, and then I turn it. That's it,
We can do it.
and it's already recording, so we're set.
Okay,
So,
wonderful.
yeah.
It's interesting, like,
Okay.
there's someone higher.
I'm gonna put this up.
Yeah, she's right side. It's a mass, I'd say. No, that's same reason. But like.
Okay. Okay, thanks for joining everybody, a neighborhood council meeting tonight. We don't have an easel tonight, but we got the agenda written here, and then we're gonna quickly move the screen over so you don't see it anymore. But, so first off, we're doing our typical introductions, we've got committee updates, city updates, and then tonight, the big things we're talking about is, number one, we're meeting the newest city council member, Erika Carlsen. Erika was voted in as the District 5 representative, and District 5 covers some part of Central City. We're mostly covered by District 4, which is Ava Lopez, but District 5, Erika Carlsen covers our 8th South to 9th South portion. So if you live in those blocks, 8th to 9th South, you are in Erika's district. So it'll be good to meet her. Just think about questions that you want to ask her. We'll have a full 30 minutes with her. And then after that, Andy had an idea to just do a brainstorming session with everybody, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see what comes from this. We wanted to talk about ideas for improving public transportation in Central City. And who knows what comes from it. There could be some action items that come out where we could talk with UTA, we could talk with the city, maybe we could get some sort of improvements from that, but Andy's got a great thing prepared for it. So let's start off with some introductions, and I'll introduce them, we'll go around this way. So I'm Austin Taylor, board chair this year at the Central City Neighborhood Council, and I'm a resident living at about 7th South Northeast. So Jenny.
Well, Jenny Sarley, vice chair, and I'm a resident. I live at approximately 7th South and 30th.
Steve Brewer, and landlord, most my practices in the city are all of my practices in the city around 16 foot. I'm in Isaacson on the Graham board, and I live at First South and 30s.
I'm not Robbins. I started at James City and
I'm Seth Brown, a board member, and then just Greg, I'm the one. It's really
Great and street great. Basis. And you're on Green Street. And you're on. Oh, I'm on the land use.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm Ben Engel, live at the historic Halloween meeting on First South. And I'm resident at the treasurer.
And Jaden Camp Cosgrove, citywide liaison and district for our mayor.
I'm Gregory Roth, resident. I live at, say, 4.5 East Simon's.
We're probably on the same.
Someone that just.
We're probably on the same block. Wait, actually, never mind.
Christina Robb, and I currently serve as the chair of East Liberty Park Community Organization, which is catty corner at Liberty Park from y'all. And then we have our overlay in Liberty. I'm Brandy Berger, I'm the public safety committee chair. I would council on the bus and south end.
Troy Saltail, I'm the transportation committee chair, along Second South.
I'm Brianna Riggs, resident, 6,000 feet.
Oh, great.
We're going to housing.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm CSC, I was here a couple months ago for the presentation.
I'm Brittany Dow, housing for
thank you so much. So we're going to do just committee updates. What? Go ahead. Oh yeah, people on the phone. Thanks, or on the call. Okay. Let's go ahead and start with Oscar. Do you want to introduce yourself? Sorry, his little thing's not working. Well, let's see. It looks like he's not on the speaker yet. So let's go ahead and go to Brown Seabright.
Sorry, can you hear me? Hello?
Yep. What's going on?
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, these it keeps popping up a different screen. Yes, I'm Oscar Arvizu and I live downtown and by the U. Yeah, I'm just I'm a volunteer for the Preservation Utah. I work a little bit with the Utah Historical Society. Very much care about development and transportation and saving the old buildings. And so I kind of like to see what I'd like to chime in later for that conversation. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Brown Seabright?
Yeah, I'm Brown, resident of Central City. I live at First South and Fifth East.
Thank you. And Marie's iPhone.
Hi, everyone. I'm Detective Stewart with Salt Lake City Police Department. I'm the community liaison for the people who live in District 3 and 4 and the police department.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I just so everyone know, I have to, that's online, I have to unplug the camera for a minute to put on this cord. So be aware. And then Austin, I think we'll do community updates now.
Sounds good. So let's start community updates on the site.
A year ago, started feedback on neighborhood. And it's finally, it was between, I think, 5th South and 9th South, and should be 50s and 30s. So they're starting on some of that. They constructed the couple of speed humps, like there's one on Dagger Street and Blair Street. And they said they're also going to work on converting that painted stop sign intersection that's at 7th South and 30s. They're planning on working on that soon to make the house cement instead of the paint last windows that were there years ago. They said they're going to work on some other like aspects as well, such as 4th East and 7th South. They're going to do something similar to what we're doing 3rd East. And they're also going to install a raised crosswalk at 450 South and 500 East, which is by the Smiths on 5th East.
That's partially just, yeah, so I'll be at my house later this month. I don't just heard about it there. But it's just for them to make sure they do all their due diligence with the state, like central and process. They just want to make sure that they're crossing all of their boxes, even if they don't. So it's just they're very last thing they install this. And then there's I think we talked maybe a year or two ago that they might restart this 4th East, probably some of the north side. So I think 2 years ago they did in the southern part of 4th East. I recently heard that they're not planning on doing it more in the next 2 or 3 years. I didn't get the reason why they ended, but it seems like maybe they're cutting some of the gas. They will not a lot of context after the streets bond collapsed. I guess this year. I think what else did I miss anything else? I remember if I brought up something else.
CIP
Oh,
application.
CIP application. So I did submit the 700 South CIP application. So that one is to install a signalized crossing across 17 the Dominators and Cambridge, as well as that traffic calming to create the 70% elements. That area is a spot where we've had pedestrians that are by car, we can sidewalk. Walking, we currently have to detour way across the street. So that'll go through a process for the rest of the year. It'll go through a CIP board in the next month or so, representation, and then we'll go to the mayor and council later on. So there's a bit of a process, but we'll let you know. We're thinking about this like facing comments here. And you probably want to. But yeah, so I'll keep you posted on this. Yeah, yeah.
Right, I did get your, just from the past. On the January, we'll ask our board.
So that's right. That's very good.
But, yeah, I'm just letting you know about that. If you need us to ever give comments or more board comment after the deadline, we just email Rachel and
Yeah, and she called me right now.
yeah, so like it doesn't matter which, yeah, we ever do that, we get it.
Yeah. So if anyone knows any business owners or like anyone who might support the 7 South CIP application, we still have this month to do that. I don't know any of them personally, but if anyone really loves to cover it to us, and there's the owner, we can ask that for support. You can coordinate that and figure out sending a template to the front.
I expect to be bought for hours with state proposition. It was my understanding that opposes any kind of traffic control measures. So they're not talking about traffic control measures.
So if it's on residential streets, it's okay. If it's on the west side of Salt Lake City, it's okay. And then they also released a map where they have tiers, and a lot of the streets that I'm talking about are on tier 3, just a document section. Instead of 7 South and 30 14. They consider it not be important to have a level. It's essentially saying that 2 lanes of travel there will more than support vehicle travel. And so they have worried about it, and use on the speed document. That's not for use because that should not be important yet. I don't know if you go online there. But I suspect that we should go through fine unless there's any surprises possibly.
Okay, got it. Okay, so we do great.
No, not yet. Brandy?
Not much going on. It's been pretty quiet with the weather and everything. I'm monitoring that through the parks, but a big position, so that's good. It's nice to have a little bit of a break. It's crazy.
Cool. And then for land use committee, do we have any updates?
No. Yeah.
No, I apologize, I think I forgot about last night. So I don't.
And I don't think they met last night.
Oh, they didn't? Okay, then I didn't forget about it.
We're all getting back into action.
Yeah, we're all getting back into the swing of things. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it for committee. So
See, oh, yeah.
oh, yeah, social media. So we should introduce everyone. Matt Robbins here. So Matt has stepped up to run our social media.
So if you're not following us, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, you can find us to Central City Neighborhood Council. And if there's anything you want promoted, it's to press city channels or businesses or things like that. And so you might have this DM us on any of those channels and I'll get it.
So for those of us who are technical here, should we send it to you first? And then
You could totally do that.
or email
You
that?
send stuff.
Yeah, or just
Yeah,
Central
okay.
City Neighborhood Council.
Oh, okay.
Access that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I just.
No, just I have access to it in case it's.
Okay. So, okay. So we wanted to first, okay, we wanted to give a certificate of appreciation to Rihanna over here. Look at this. Everybody knows that she has done so much for this neighborhood and for the neighborhood council. And I first met Brianna because she lives one block over from me, and she and I are just looking at the condition of the parks, and they weren't the best. And so we said, let's organize, let's make something happen. And so we connected with Cindy, we revived the neighborhood council, and Brianna was at the head of that for what, 3 years? 2 years. It almost feels like 3 years. But she did amazing things, and so the board signed this, and we want to give this certificate to Rihanna. So thank you. And we did the same thing for Justin, but I don't see Justin. Justin also is an example of seeing problems and stepping up to solve them. You know, a lot of people will run from problems in our neighborhood, unfortunately. When you see a problem, they'll move to a different neighborhood where it's just a little bit easier, a little bit safer to live more comfortably. So people like Brianna and Justin are stepping up to improve our neighborhoods. Same with you guys. So huge thanks to Brianna, huge thanks to Justin. So another round of That's it from us. So let's go to city updates then, and we can start off with Tim.
Thank you. Thank you all. Happy New Year. So I shared with you an update from Enbridge that they were doing a gas line project on South Temple. So they're starting from east to west, from Main Street to West Temple, and then that'll take a month. And then they'll go from West Temple to State Street. So they're replacing a 100-year-old gas line. They figured this first quarter of the year is the slowest part, so that it will disrupt at least amount of residents and business operating in that area, in that neighborhood. So just be cognizant, be aware, and watch for traffic down there. We have February 6th is the watch party for the Olympics right over here at Leonardo. I'll pass that flyer around. There will be giant screens, bands, food trucks, lots of games, camera programming, kind of inject that enthusiasm for USA Olympics, but Olympics by and large, it's just an exciting time to get together and celebrate, knowing that we're going to have them here at home. The Paralympics will be soon to follow that. And the mayor is doing the State of the City address Tuesday, January 27th at 7 p.m. Forward that information to Matt. It'll be on her Facebook page, so you can all join and participate. And you're familiar with our Shade SLC site on the web page. It's your opportunity to engage in the investments that the city is making in the city, and we participate by getting your input, listening to you and your direction. So there's four different surveys I wanted to highlight. There's the Salt Lake City Volunteer Organizational Planning and Management Project. So we have a volunteer coordinator in the city, in the mayor's office, Ginwa, and they're kind of taking this opportunity to restructure. And you all, because Central City has such a great volunteer presence in our Central City area, with Brandon and Randy, a lot of these. But please weigh in on that survey. We want your input. There's one on Salt Lake City West to East connection. So we've done a lot of investment creating bike lanes connecting east to west. This administration, but we want to do more, and we want your input for that. Capitol Hill is doing their community plan update this year, but you can weigh in on that. And there's one for expanding housing. So appreciate your participation. The unsheltered population, I know, we're anticipating snow tomorrow and Friday. So Code Blue is open for that area tomorrow, Thursday, and Fridays. I'm going to Rebecca if you need additional information on that, or I have contact information. If you see anybody unsheltered, you can call the 801-990-9999 number. What does a snow do? I want to bring that to your attention. So we provide a lot of services in the city, and our snow fighter crews are awesome. There's 90 workers, men and women, that fight to keep our streets, our sidewalks clean. They do 1,900 miles. 49 spots of protected bike lanes, 8.6 miles of sidewalks, 3 raised bridges, and 25. And our goal, and they operate 24/7, and that goes to clear everything within 36 hours. If you see a street or haven't been there, between time that they've been able to clear it away, you can get on the ISC app and let the My Streets know. They appreciate that. And then last but not least, I'm doing community office hours in February 27th. 26. So we're at the Salt Lake City Roasting Company up here, 820 East, 400 South, from 10 to noon. I'll be talking, me interested in hearing any subject topics that you want to talk about. Any questions for me?
I have a question, reporting like compliance issues with snow removal. So it's not the city's responsibility to remove the sidewalk snow, but when we have like businesses or apartment management that doesn't do that, it seems like always the responsibility that then we'll get to them and follow up on it like in a few days from now. There's like snow removal problems, like a police problem. Not really like.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Tim. That's always been a constant challenge. Civil enforcement can enforce on them, but they have to give 24 hours notice after the last snowstorm. So if it snows and then they don't do it within 24 hours and it snows again, they don't do it within 24 hours, it snows again, kind of builds up. We all have an obligation to clean our own sidewalks out in front of our own residential property. Businesses have the same responsibility. I always kind of lean on the side of trying to be a good neighbor. If you see somebody out there, and Ben does the same thing too. If you see a neighbor out there struggling and they need help, lend a helping hand. I travel around with a snow shovel in the back of my Jeep if anybody can call me.
So a follow on that, so vacant property is waiting for development, is the city taking responsibility to snow shovel there? How's that?
Not sidewalks, no, but streets for sure, yeah.
So.
Unless it's a state street, and then state UDOT cleans up that street.
Okay, so it's.
70s or south. Yeah, just report it to my SLC, and then if they can, they'll get to it as soon as they can. But most likely with sidewalks, that's not covered. Sorry.
You shelves the sidewalks at their buildings.
No, pardon me. You see it in the parks? Yeah, go ahead and report it. The sidewalk. To the city. We want to know.
I have a question about my that I haven't really gotten at that. So reporting things, it seems like they're even after us much down the road. And is that typical, or what is causing that? Is there a way that we can help improve that?
It depends, and I qualify that because it's like a level of understanding. If I see graffiti, you know what graffiti is, and knows what graffiti is, you report graffiti, and then that goes right to them into a queue, and they go through it in the number of order that they see the concern, and they usually get to that within 24 hours. If you're saying, if you see, yeah, if you see. Yeah, biowaste. I was going to use that as an example, but in managed services, it's designated as something else. Like, I don't know if there's potholes on city property, on private property, in the easement, or in the entryway or the exit way, whose responsibility is. Sometimes those things takes be able to figure out before it gets direct.
Biowaste and potholes, if you put biowaste in the pothole.
I just want
Get the
to,
biowaste cleaned up.
I just want to qualify that the parking and the graffiti are so, you know, I don't know why I won't there. So, like, it just, it's incredible, but these are more complicated issues.
It's taken a few years to have had great success with. We meet every Thursday. Like over back, she helps coordinate this with the homeless encampments. So we have an advance for that. She's there 24 hours a day, 24-hour numbers, 48 hours to go to a cleanup. But all of this is like creating that direct operation for that service. It's like 400 South where we just built a bike. And they didn't get the painting, the subcontractor didn't in time for the weather change. You can't paint unless it's 62 degrees or above. Well, now they're waiting. They're working on the art installation on the bridge on the 400 South Viaduct from Brayton West to second 200 West. But painting is so time for that. So things like that just not in our control, but it's in our queue.
So I guess my follow-up question is that, if you know that there's a reason, and maybe it's taking us for a little period of time, and they come to us, let's just reach out and say, hey, you know, we kind of request on this and get some information to get back. Because, you know, those are all the ways we said. So should we just follow up with the department directly?
That and or Salesforce. If interested in Salesforce, usually you get a response back with a level of understanding why it's still not addressed.
So sorry, we're over time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was a great report out. We'll go ahead and turn it over to Ava. And Ava, sorry, we're running a little short on time.
That's all right. Thanks everybody. Sorry, couldn't make it in. I was caught up on some work calls and so I was running late and just thought I'd log in virtually. I want to wish you all a happy new year. And I see that we are joined by Councilmember Erika Carlsen. So I'm really excited that we have this overlap because I think there's a lot of power on the council when we can have a lot more influence as neighbors and share this with other council members. So this is going to be a great opportunity for us. I just want to start out by wishing you all a happy new year. And I wish you great health and the resilience to really own your neighborhood and help bring those solutions to fruition. It's a scary time. We're seeing not just a government shutdown getting closer and closer to us, but I just saw the news cycle as well. I don't want to, I'll say it's a trigger warning, but there's a lot of real desperation out in the US and other cities. And I just feel very grateful that Salt Lake has been very welcoming and safe thus far. I also want to say that any of these atrocities that we're seeing in Minneapolis or in other cities are consistently types of conversations that your council and your mayor are having as to how to protect each and every one of you. If you need any support right now, whether that's legal support, mental health, or awareness, please call 211. They're a great service provider to connect you. I just got a call today of a friend that committed suicide. And so I don't know who's struggling, and I don't want to receive any of those calls. So I just wanted to highlight that as a plea for each of you to take care of each other. As far as city council work, I've been working on my priorities. On the 27th, we'll have the State of the City address. We'll also have the City Council retreat. You're all welcome to join. It is a public meeting, and it will be published. But this is where your City Council sets priorities. And the tone of this year is a reaction to compounding deferred maintenance. And because of that, I'm looking at where we can do fee reductions, where we can have the largest impact on our families. And so I'm cultivating a different subset of policies to take away late fees or have first-time graces where they're needed. Looking at this, especially at our water utility rate, we have a lot of families that are struggling today to pay those fees. We also have an increase to rec fees, and we don't have any discount for working class families or people. This is just one of the ways that we can help decrease cost of living. We can't do it all. We have operating expenses, but I told you before, I'll be digging at this budget very clearly. And regardless of where we end up, it's a necessary conversation. I think Central City is very reflective of the diverse socioeconomic status of many of our families. And we have accumulated over time, just from my quick week of research, we have disproportionate fines that are going to hurt our most lowest income families. And so this is an opportunity for us to say, we understand that we have operational costs, and with rising labor costs and rising benefits, we also understand that Salt Lakers can't afford to live here anymore. We already saw an increase to the county tax. So it's something that's very, very important to me, that we don't make living in Salt Lake punitive due to cost. Other than that, I wanted to let you know I'm working with Ames Church, Trinity Church, to include them, in our facade program. And we're going to be working on that. Currently, they're outside the boundaries, but we want to make sure that the church is in its utmost integrity. And then also working with St. Mark's, actually, to protect them from the Silverado development. So there's lots more development to come to Central City. We're seeing a lot of different supply of hotel units being used in the definition of density. And I think these are opportunities for Central City to step up to the plate and to describe very clearly what is density and what isn't, what is affordable and what isn't. So I'm asking for each and every one of you, please stay in contact, email, show up. We'll start up the Engage with Ava meetings again, and I'd love for each and every one of you to participate. But the best thing you can do is invite a neighbor to this meeting, to the Central City Community Council meeting, and to any city council meetings. This is going to be the year of cost of living. And as a city, we are looking at a lot of different fee schedules. I'd like to see a reduction in them. I don't want to have a conversation of just raising taxes. I want to look very clearly where we're duplicating taxation on our most vulnerable families. I'll take any questions if you guys have any. Hey, Annie. Yeah.
Hey, the hotel of some request by the Wades. I know they were talking to city council members. All of a sudden they roped off the diamond lot, so there's no parking there. Do you know what's going on with that? Because I know that they were talking to city council members.
Which hotel are you talking about? Because there's quite a few in Central City that are being proposed.
The horrendous, ugly looking thing that's proposed at the diamond lot that no one in the neighborhood wants on Third South.
Okay, yeah. We haven't had any communication with them since last year.
Okay, Brian Fulmer told me that they were meeting with each of you individually.
They haven't met with me yet, and I don't believe, unless Councilmember Carlsen knows more, I don't believe they've started those meetings yet. So unless they're scheduling them, that would be new to this year. So as soon as we have any meetings, I can text you that information, Annie.
Okay.
Yeah, happy to investigate more. Same with the Silverado concept. Right now, what we're trying to do is they're abutting the church, the cathedral, and the cathedral has solar panels, and they also have, it's their parking lot that's going to be, that's going to lack daylighting. And so I'm really worried for, it's an elderly community that goes and attends that congregation. And so that's another example where we're pushing back right now, and they have to go through council for design review. But that's an example where that design right now is not conducive at all to being a good neighbor to that church, let alone to the rest of the neighborhood on Second South.
So can I just, even that, Silverado and the proposed upzone on Third South, those
Yeah.
are both taking MU8 zoning, brand new MU8 zoning, going for a G1, which is the highest possible. It doesn't belong there. So you guys don't have to do a development review. You could just, you know, decline the request for the upzone at city council, and that would kill it.
Yeah, no, I'm very aware of that. Absolutely. The last and final thought that I wanted to let you know is I've done a lot of work with, and Cindy knows this, with different individuals that are proposing making sure that the city purchases and becomes stewards of more wetlands. And so do write in. It's one of the best ways we can save the Great Salt Lake. I wanted to bring that up because I think as a city, sometimes we become fatigued on how we can act to save the Great Salt Lake. And one of the best ways is to preserve those wetlands. So we also have an upzone in the North Point area plan. And it would considerably change these wetlands into industrial zones.
Hey, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Sorry,
Yeah,
lots of tough questions, but everyone should have Ava's contact information. She's really responsive, and if you don't have it, reach out to me. I'll get it to you. Okay, thank you, Ava. Let's go ahead and turn it over to Marie with police.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate everyone attending and just being a part of this community. The biggest things I want to talk to you about are, there's only two of them. First, that we've had some restructuring in our department, in that almost every lieutenant was moved to a different position, which is good. We needed to switch up, and the people assigned to their new positions will be doing great. Having said that, we have a new lieutenant, and his name is Gordon Warzencroft. So Jeff North is our commander over Central City, and Gordon Warzencroft is our new lieutenant. We just had our patrol change. They bid for a new shift every 4 months, and then they change, or they bid for the same space if they have enough seniority. So we have some new officers in Central City, so you might see them around as well. And one thing I want to raise your awareness that has become a pretty big topic of discussion, especially amongst the police department, is wire theft in our city electrical boxes. If you walk along the road, you'll see cement lids, and some will say electrical, and some are for traffic signals, and some are for street lights, and so on and so forth. There have been the theft out of those boxes has been escalating. It was brought to my attention last year, and I just quickly said prevention is the only solution. So we've been working with a company to try and get locking lids for all of our electrical boxes in the city. Until then, I'm just reaching out to the neighborhoods and asking that everyone kind of look around, and if you see someone opening up those cement lids on the street, and if they have a white electrical van, or that's not marked Salt Lake City, it's not marked Black and McDonald, which is a company that the city they hire them. Say they have a white electrical van and they have a yellow vest on. Let's just give us a call. We'll go out and check with them to make sure they're legitimate, because in one incident, they took out 42 electrical boxes that disables all the street lights. And in some cases, in fact, one case last year, they took out all the street lights and the traffic signal, and it caused two vehicles to collide into each other. So when you have a really dark night, those things are just really dangerous. Normally, if the wires get cut, the traffic signal will flash, but it didn't in that incident. So just keep an eye out if you see anyone. So the 9th area, South Temple, all down Main Street, that got hit last year. And the city spent over $2 million in damages replacing those wires in our electrical boxes. So it's a huge expense and damages and losses. And until we can come up with our locking lid, which will be the solution, we just ask the community to give us a call if you see anyone tampering with those boxes that's not a city worker, that doesn't have our city emblem on the side of their truck, or Black and McDonald. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Emergency or non-emergency?
Non-emergency, but report it as it is, because emergency is life-threatening, so this will be a theft call. But yeah, call the non-emergency and say, hey, there's someone tampering with the electrical box. And if it's our city worker or it's Black and McDonald, great. We'll go out, stop out with them and say, hey, who do you work for? It never hurts to go out and just talk to them. But if it would just be a theft in progress type of call. So.
All right. Thank you so much, Marie. We really appreciate your time and being here.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Okay. We'll go ahead and turn it over to Rebecca with Hart.
Sure. And to piggyback, Christina, on your MyFOC comments, I actually did some research on like the 25 most populated homeless cities in the US, specifically about their apps. And I'm kind of proud to say it's not me that created Time Mess. Salt Lake City is actually the only city in the top, and we're not even the top 25. But out of all of those, we're the only ones that actually have a button on our main page of the app to report an encampment. But from looking at all the different apps, there are still improvements that we can be made. And I'll bring what you said about like the tracking, because that doesn't just go for like homelessness, it goes for like everything. So we can always do better. So yes, there's that. 2 things. Point in time, call for volunteers. Our annual point in time count, January 29th through the 31st. Kind of a fun bonding thing. If you want to gather a team, I get points for getting the most signups. I'm just kidding. But I have the QR code here. But in all seriousness, it's our federal funding and how many people get counted as actively unsheltered. It accounts for our federal dollars. So we're low on volunteers this year. So if you could find it in your hearts for a couple hours, the end of January, it'll be great. Also, QR code for the volunteer training as well.
But for the point in time count, if you do sign up, just put on there, if you want, you can put on there my name as your team. I've been working with the person that's doing the assignments, and she'll assign my team in the Central City neighborhood boundaries. So just put my name down and we'll all go together. It'll be great.
Yeah, maybe you can have breakfast after. I don't know. Yeah. Yes, exactly. And then if anyone has a philanthropist in their pocket or just feels in their heart, again, in all seriousness, the volunteer, the dollars are low this year. Specifically, I guess Pamela Atkinson used to write a letter of recommend, but she is unable to do so now at this point. So the dollars to purchase, these kind of items are very low, and they're very much appreciated for individuals that are sleeping rough. And then the QR code to sign up, more information, whatever for code blue is right there. Unfortunately, our temp is 18 degrees. New York City is 32. I wish ours were higher, but we've been code blue all winter. Unfortunately, our funding doesn't allow for that. But there's the code blue QR code and some more like winter information there. So yeah, that is it.
Great. Any questions for Rebecca? Thank you so much for being here. Okay, and we are going to open up. We have a few minutes for the Salt Lake City Housing Authority. Talk to us.
We'll be like 1 minute.
Okay, great.
Because we're on the schedule. So as you know, we are going to be developing the Northwest Pipeline and creating more additional housing. We are going to the city council soon on negotiating a house to purchase so that we can sweep over the land and start doing some site activation and then get moving on a project. We're looking at the rate of purchasing it for $1 million. So we will be going to city council soon. And we'll be talking to them and just asking for that support. So if we could get some support as well from the community, just saying, you know, this would be it's very important to us to get it at a discounted price for how much it will cost. And if it's going to meet the need of the great community and bring a lot of different types of families. Once we have it in place, we'll come back, get it on the calendar properly, and have a great presentation because we'll have things finalized. So just look for that. If you could just reach out to Ava or to Erika, that would be great. Let the mayor know as well, but that's all we wanted to say is just to let you know we are moving forward as quickly as we can for this last step before we make some good progress.
Does that mean that the financing is secured given the price that you're trying to get the property from the city?
It works better with the price from the city.
Okay. From what I understand, that's kind of been the.
Yeah. So this is so it's like this fits very well.
Is the council?
Yeah, if you're willing, and I put my email address on there to have it as well, but anything you're willing to do, we are grateful for it. We're really excited to be.
We really want to see that.
Yeah, we do too. We're really excited. We stand by it, so we're really excited to bring it there. And we moved our offices in the community, so we're really excited. Yeah, we're in the old OQ, or we call it the OQ. The Oker School. Yeah. So we'll be there, not yet. So if you need anything from our office, our front facing people are still on West Temple, but we will be moving over.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
No,
Oh, not at all. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Erika, thank you so much for your patience. And sorry we're running a little bit behind, but we're really happy that you're here today to talk to us.
Can I up there?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I just wanted to come by and introduce myself to all of you. So my name is Erika Carlsen. I've met some of you. I've met some of your board members a few weeks ago, sat down with them. I'm the new council member. I'm the new council member for Salt Lake City District 5. And District 5, a small sliver of it, includes Central City. And so a little bit about me is I grew up here in Utah. I grew up north of 45 minutes north in another town, but this is the best one. Went to University of San Francisco for school, studied political science, and then went on to get a Master of Divinity from Harvard Divinity School. Focused on leadership and education and mindfulness. And then worked for a bit at the Harvard Kennedy School. My background in training is leadership training and development. And I live in the ballpark part of the district and care a lot about what community members say, and I really feel like all of you have the most power in the city. And you have the most power because you live in your neighborhood, you know what's going on, you talk to your neighbors, and I really believe that community councils and neighborhood groups are crucial to good policy. So a couple of things that I'll be focusing on in the council. Some of these issues might sound familiar to all of you. Housing, pushing for more home ownership opportunities for people, more equity building like programs like Perpetual Housing Fund, working to address vacant and blighted housing. I'm looking at some of you also have that issue in your district as well. Ensuring that our parks, we're both investing in and maintaining our parks and green spaces, but they're also safe places for people to gather and come together. Growing up, my stepdad was a very small business, and when I say small, I mean teeny tiny. Him and one other person for 40 years, that kind of small.
So supporting small businesses is one of the things that I care deeply about in our city. You know, 92% of all businesses in Salt Lake City are small businesses. And that's something that I'm really proud of, and I feel like we play an important part of it. Let's see if I'm missing anything. I have set up quarterly meetings with the chairs of the community councils in District 5 and included Austin in those meetings. And my intention is to be a support to you all, a resource, and to partner with Councilmember Lopez Chavez on many of the issues that I think we find in our districts where there's overlap. But any questions about that?
You said how vacant houses should radically a lot, like just empty lots.
Empty lots, vacant houses. I'm particularly interested in those homes that have been vacant for oftentimes 5, 10 years or longer, and I think are a huge drain on city resources. In addition to yes, and a huge drain on city resources. You know, you've got neighbors calling on emergency line when they get broken into, or you know, nefarious activity taking place in those things. And a compliance officer who comes out and takes the property owner, and it's almost like this cycle, and we're not even doing that. So
the property, there's one house that's like it's just a vacant lot, but it's that.
I'll have to look into further around the vacant lot in terms of if there's not a structure there, how it's been. I'm gonna focus first on the houses. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Oh, at the screen?
Yeah, Eva.
Oh, thank you. I wanted to ask you, as a resident also of Salt Lake City, how will you balance our budget this year with both the priorities of our neighbors, which is we're seeing an increase of cost of living, and balance it with operational costs in our city?
So I think it's no surprise that the cost of everything has gone up. And that people are really struggling right now. And I think you and I have also talked about this too. I want to do everything possible to avoid any increase that being passed on to taxpayers in terms of property tax increases. So that means scouring the budget, the 500+ page document for all the savings that we can find this year.
All right. No, thank you, Erika. Thank you, Councilmember Carlsen. I think that means a coffee date for us, and maybe we publicize it and allow the public to come so that way we can dig through that budget book together.
Yes. Anyone else that is welcome to join us going through the 500-page document.
How is the ballpark next how is that coming into maybe purchasing or homeownership or any of that contributing?
Thank you for that question. So the Ballpark Next project, for those of you who don't know, is where the ballpark stadium site was, where the Bees used to play. A couple of things that I'd like to see have happen. I'd like to see an increase in how the city is moving forward with parcels of that land for the development of housing. I will beat this drum forever and ever and ever that I want more for sale housing. We've seen a lot of affordable housing coming into the ballpark part of the neighborhood. I think you all have a lot of affordable housing. That's important, but we also need for sale housing, we need mixed income communities, and we need equity building like programs for people to just get ahead, get a foot ahead, because if you're paying half of your monthly income on rent, it's so hard to control. So on Ballpark Next project, I will be pushing for that to happen at a faster rate.
Is there any of that involved? I know I'm not sure how much it's changed, but I know that there will be rent units or possibility of a hotel, which I don't know.
I will share. I have questions about the hotel myself, and I need to dive into further, the thought process behind the hotel, because as a community member, I was a part of many of those conversations. And I don't remember the hotel coming up. Christina might have.
Yeah, can I just do a shady spot for, so also we do a land meeting update with the citywide one on the second, Thursday. And Erika might be there at this one, but in February, you guys are all invited for a more like citywide, regional conversation. And Erika, said that she's been part of the podcast. So I'm sure some of your city for the 10. Yeah. So, and that's one of the things that
we're kind of mulling over right now, that will be on the. If you want your. That's the question that you're. She's gonna. In order.
Yeah.
Yeah, about transportation safety on the radar.
Yes, I do. So one thing that I am thinking about is continuing to support multimodal transportation. I think we've seen a lot of success, especially along the 9 line, of the ways in which it also supports local businesses, activation of that space. And so I want to see more of that throughout the city. And also in certain parts of the city, there are real pressures that neighborhoods are dealing with. Parking is one of those. So if you've ever come to a Central 9 community council meeting, you will hear about the challenges that residents are facing concerning parking, small businesses are facing concerning parking for their patrons, but also parking for their employees. So that would be part of it.
We need to balance. I'm not going to buy on the fire. There's 0 trees because the tree is paper.
Yeah.
I don't think it's acceptable. So I need to balance this approach. So very heavy.
Yeah.
Now, what's your approach going to be for balancing affordable housing and historical preservation and then all of the developmental pressures?
Yeah. So I think we've seen a lot of housing come online over the past couple of years, and I think Salt Lake City has really been a leader in the state in terms of increasing the supply of housing. I would like to see much more attainable housing. Attainable is really workforce housing, so people of about that 120% AMI. I would love to see more of that housing come online. I think that it depends, to be honest with you. It depends. As we're thinking about historical preservation of some lots and thinking about the need to welcome more families and accommodate the families that are here in Salt Lake City and make sure they can stay, it depends on case by case.
Cindy, just go back about 30 years when the city realized it made a horrible mistake by turning the East Downtown into an office park. That was the vision, to create an office park between downtown and University. It was intentional. And so we have all of these 1- and 2-story office buildings that are now, I don't even want to call it great coolie space. They're just really not rentable. And you know, when the city buys into the destruction of existing housing to create more housing, regardless of the price point, when we have all of these unusable buildings that are sitting vacant and frankly are nuisances, problematic in terms of trespass, and so as well as the horrific fire hazard. And I will share with you soon a map of the buildings that have burned in Central City. You know, it's just, we need to direct more of the redevelopment toward these 1- and 2-story office buildings that can never come back to what they were. They're not engineered to have multi-story additions on top of them. They don't meet electrical standards or technology, you know. Nothing good is going to happen. And so when I see buildings that are providing housing get targeted for demolition, when we've got all these office buildings that are never going to make a contribution, I really feel like the city needs to put some incentives on the replacement of these office buildings with housing or uses that are commercial but are viable. That's what's there. That site, the Silverado site, what's on that site now is never going to work ever again.
Well, and I think like when you see whether it's an office building or a house or a vacant lot, it's a drain on the whole neighborhood that immediately surrounds it. It's a space that I feel like zoning and how we zone and how we plan and how we build is really a reflection of values. What kind of neighborhoods do we want to live in? What kind of city do we want to live in? And so thinking through, you know, when what maybe does not serve us anymore in this new iteration of how we're working together. So thank you for that.
One of the problems you brought up the blighted properties, you know, the houses that get neglected, and it seems like that's a really good example of how we have a lot of historic properties that are so badly neglected when they finally get permission to tear their properties. And if we could, more to your point originally, stop that from setting in to begin with, then we can preserve more of the property.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
I was gonna point out, on second south, part of it here, it's just like, it's, you can go to the second, and there's so much liveliness there, and lots going on, and then you literally walk and you just have, there's just like buildings that are abandoned, fences everywhere, drugs, trying to sell you drugs, asking you to buy drugs. All this has happened to me. So, like, it's the 2 blocks between where I live and this, like, by little neighborhood,
Yes.
and like the walk there is, it's miserable, and kind of sketchy.
Yeah. Well, and I think like what you're pointing at is that I really believe that safe neighborhoods come from activation, from neighbors who know each other, being out on the street, you go to the local coffee shop, you feel a sense of pride and place. In addition with the work that the police department does, important, necessary, and needed, I think neighbors place also.
Police can't be there 24/7.
That's exactly right. And they're very expensive. Yeah. Thank you. I will leave my email address up here. And I will stay in regular contact with the chair, with Austin. And so we will touch base, and I'll try to come as often as I can to these meetings.
Wonderful. Well, we really appreciate your time to be here today.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Okay, so we're gonna turn it over now to Amy, who's doing a brainstorming session for improving public transit.
Yeah, Kenny's going to like, Gina, can I have that idea that we're gonna talk about public transportation? Go back to Kenny for leading this, and she's gonna set the stage with some blue lights for us. I was curious who's, oh, wow. This is
us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it's too much lights on, huh? Maybe it could go lights on a little more. I don't know.
So maybe that's it.
Okay, so, beginning of the year, we didn't have a lot on the agenda, so Tim knows from me that, okay, I'm an older person in the city with a lot of young people. There's a lot of people in my age, but not nearly as many as young people are coming. So.
Very spirited.
Older person, yeah. Okay, so when the city zoning code we now have, it really reduces, we're working towards less and less parking. The future is less parking, and the thinking is we have public transportation you can walk to. I have a 98.75-year-old mother that constantly needs me. She fell. I'm back and forth to Mill Creek constantly. Okay, you can't do that on public transportation. You need a car. But I realized at some point I maybe priced that having a car because I'm not parking. And some of you know I was very sick last year, couldn't drive. I tried public transportation. So an hour's worth of errands becomes 6 hours worth of errands when you're taking buses in the city. You also probably get the idea from some of your friends, if it's not you, that there's a lot of people here that live in the city that like to go mountain climbing and like to go skiing and like to go up into the mountains when they're not working. So what I want to talk about today is the blue lights are part of like a 4-part cycle of innovation. Okay, so I'm only doing the first part because we don't have a lot of time. But what I want you to think about is if we didn't have any cars and you had to do the things that you have to do and the things that you want to do as a person in Utah. So when I used to do this in corporate, it'd be like, Walt Disney had a big castle. If you go up to the attic of the castle, all the walls were painted blue. They were doing ideas for a new movie. You go up to the attic and everything is blue, and when you're in the blue room, every idea is a great idea. You can't say anything negative. Someone says an idea, you can't say, "Oh, that dumb idea never worked." Every idea in the blue room is a great idea. Later in the process, you can go and attack an idea or analyze an idea, but in the blue light, every idea is a great idea. So sometimes the best new innovation comes out of an idea that is realistic. So what I want to do for the next however minutes is just, you guys just think in your head, what's a great idea that you have to get to Moab, to get to Zion, Park City, or get to the university, or the Mill Creek, or the chocolate factory in North Salt Lake? How are you going to get there in a car and get back to where you need to go in a reasonable amount of time? You know, now we're not going to write it down because it's going to be on the video. So
You say how to get there without a car? Or with
yeah, so this is public, so no car.
Okay.
So whatever that means, I'm not saying a bus or train, it could be anything.
Hot air balloon.
There you go.
I would do a train,
Okay,
train or bus. Buses are underrated.
but what would the train be like?
Something that connects to downtown, which connects me to other places.
Okay.
Something that's connected and I can like get to easily.
Shuttle.
Shuttle. What kind of shuttle?
Something that has capacity for deer, like your speed and outside, all your camping, very like in the caravan situation. I don't know, multiple shuttles, I guess. One for people and one for deer. Huh?
Oh, I know.
I mean, we used to have a problem. Yeah, these places are all around the city. Now, where we asked if their places. It was such an opportunity. There was a lot quicker back then.
Well, we had more trolleys.
Right. Okay, I had 12. Yeah.
Any thought?
It's kind of issue, but when I used to live in New York City, I jumped on the or on the chairlift, and it would take me beautiful. And I always thought that would be a very chairlift from them as well, to do like a kind of deal or
I would like to have it from downtown Salt Lake to Park City.
well, that's bigger than what I could, but I like, look, they have that really great one from that, like, you know, down there in Portland that goes to them from like.
So to get from the hospital from downtown up to you.
Yeah, it's, you know, I don't know if it's actually technically called something very well, but it is like a mixed use for it's just really cool. I know all of the employees then take the operating model.
Eric, you have any thoughts?
I just got back from a trip to Mexico and did a lot of bike riding there. And I just had a crazy thought of like either like big tandem bike, that's an experience. And just also thinking about train and stuff.
Where would you turn that?
Oh gosh, probably up to the trails.
Great. Any thought?
Well, I would rather train them mainly because the only form of transportation that I don't have some degree of hatred for is either riding my bike, walking, or riding a train. So, and the thing is, we have so much already in terms of trains. A lot of it is just cost and potentially improvements that would get us to a lot of the places that we already want to go. One is there was standard areas to revive. I mean, this is something like Rosie. But what was just said with bicycles, because this is an issue where my beautiful mother can't bring a bicycle in that time. But during events around town, you will see people with a bike and bicycle, what you call rickshaws.
Yeah.
And that is something that usually useful.
So more rickshaws.
More.
How about you, Tim?
Like, okay, too, and have the same problem, so see my son, or the bus system there, cost, we didn't have a car, we went everywhere we wanted to go by bus, you would, every 10 minutes, it was out of order for us, maybe 7 degrees, and you bundle up, and you
people go out, travel, and go. Bus system, the other one that started for me was here down at how a year and a half ago, vacationing. There's a community board for people traveling, and they posted them on house up there, free house for gas, and car share, right? Car share, jump on my favorite, so that's kind of a unique way. I think we are going to have to do something with our increased senior population. They can't, my parents can't drive. They can't, so the more demanding on me and my wife, I'm the attention and energy to get them to go to home where they need to go, but yeah, we need to do something. Maybe that lost sense for who's on.
That's great.
I think high availability, I think that's a frequency of all the different you know, it seems like we should be able to have things run 24/7. It seems like things should be quick enough that you just go to a bus stop or a train stop, and you're just confident that there will be something there that can go in that direction soon. And you know, I see the younger population in particular seems to do a lot of Uber and Lyft, and that seems to be you know, the new way to exploit low income people for their working and labor. Would really benefit those people a whole lot, and it seems like that kind of infrastructure really do a lot to where we have arteries that move things between central locations, and we have things like Uber and Lyft that would get you out to like the more remote areas to get out to those or the locations. So trainer city aids, maybe you're a mile from the outskirts of town to take the kind of ride. Having automation and all of that is useful in the future. So again, moving forward, lowering the amount that people get paid for these services. So, yeah,
Yeah. So, I'm gonna have a new year, because Greg's 83-year-old wife drives somebody from New Jersey into the city, into New York City. So it's, you know, it's a good transportation. Yeah, for elderly people. And, but I wish we could do someplace. I was gonna say trolley, and like, I like the trolley idea as well. But, I mean, you know, we're seriously lacking space for more interstate from north end of West Restaurant to south end, and so why not start utilizing underground subway systems? We're ready.
Well, it's slow motion, but I'm thinking about the 3-wheel bike zones. You know, the youngsters drive the elderly wherever they need to go. You know, and, yeah. Yeah, three bikes.
these 3-wheel scooters that bring them up and down,
They're the only ones I have.
like who does it decides what succeeds in the scooter market? I like them.
2 companies. That's in miles.
If you've ever been to like New Orleans or Portland, they have these like big 10-person bikes with like a table and they're all drinking air.
The
bicycle, what is it called? Yeah, you can drink beer. It's a 10-person bicycle on like a table. I would love to have those because I think if transportation was about community and enjoying your transportation rather than getting in a car and being everyone's obstacle. No. I will say.
I'm gonna come out from left field because we are in the blue light, Annie. Thank you. And I'm just thinking, as I was mother, very, very, you know, when the children were young, we see Austin with the stroller, whatever it is, has to be family friendly, especially, you know, the bigger families. I mean, you know, I'm certainly not a fan of hopping on a train or a bus with my, you know, infant, you know, that kind of stuff. So my left field is, you know, I'm just thinking of those movies like Motivated or like Show the Future. What was that one where they're like, but not that. Well, there was another one where the people they're actually so out of shape because they don't stand. Yes, yes, and like just like, hey, what are the best? What are the animators drawing our future to look like, right? And maybe like you know, seeing what we can pull into actual reality, Back to the Future kind of stuff. Oops, to make this amazing show.
All right,
ready.
so you're taking your young family onto something to go.
I think it's like kind of like a hybrid, like electric pod Uber thing where you're like, yeah, I have a family of 6, and so I need a pod that's this big, you know, and it's like I press my button and here it is. You know,
it's only your family space.
Right, exactly, but it's a better futuristic.
Excellent. Cindy, 2 thoughts. One is that the way we have transit set up now, it's very isolating and insular, and we're seeing behaviors in terms of aggression, road rage that are consistent with that kind of insularity. And so I think things that we can do like sharing rides or collaborating, or having a barber, whoever's responsible for driving, if not invited. You know, I think if we could get out of this sense of these are my boundaries, and if you get in my space, I'm going to assault you. It's really, that's where we are. And the other thing is that if we could segregate rooms for transportation so that we have a work home group, and then we have an extracurricular gotta go ski plan for transportation, and then people think about where they work in terms of their living, sort of direct Google Earth's thing of where you're planted, and so that you're consolidating. Like if my car breaks down, I can throw the snow shovel over my shoulder and walk to all of the property stuff. So, you know, I'm then especially tired after doing that. But it's possible because of the proximity of what I need to do on a daily basis to do it on foot. The other stuff about going to art galleries or going to, you know, athletic things or whatever, that's where the transit has to come in. But on a daily basis, I can manage half the students even in the buildings don't have that. It's pretty amazing to see how they function. They live a few steps from the Second South Club and 2 blocks from tracks. That's where they've chosen to live. I got them trapped. Love them. You know, they can't get much better transit than they've got. And they chose that.
Okay, Jenny.
Well, I kind of like what Greg said about the tricycle kind of thing, the 3-wheel bike. It reminded me of my grandpa, who, when he lost his license, he lived in Provo. When he lost his license, my family bought him a 3-wheel bike, and then he could go to the grocery store every day. That was like the highlight of his day, was going to the grocery store. But he did it for like a decade before he passed away, and he loved that bike, and he used it all over Provo. And so I really love the adult bike. I think that's great for especially older people.
Thank you, Troy.
I have another time to think. Why don't we have transit trails in Salt Lake City?
Excuse me?
Transit trails. Park City has a free bus. You get up to Grossman's Pass and go to all the trails over there. But we don't have like a good bus connection. Like, I guess when you're skiing, you can take like 3 transfers from downtown, which is absolutely insane. But there should be no transfers. There should be a downtown hub straight to the canyon. but also to have those run when it's not ski season too. But just literally just have buses that go up those canyons. Let me be able to like go up there without a car, because I don't have a car. And there's no other way to get up there other than carpools. That shouldn't be that way.
Okay, great. And before I close it, anybody else want to have another idea they want to throw?
This is ridiculous. I was gonna say it.
No, ridiculous is great.
Like, but what are those, flying seats where you jump off a cliff, the squirrel seats? Yeah. Like,
maybe why?
I don't recall it, but.
Oscar.
I was just thinking of monorail system, a combination of monorail, subways, probably, I mean, all this, depending on the events. It's just, like anybody who goes to Europe and jumps on, is able to jump on a train to get to the subway to go anywhere. It's so convenient, so easy to do. But yes, it's more compact when you can go there, they actually use their taxi.
Oh.
Versus us that we just don't do that. We don't invest that time.
Does anybody have any fear?
I wasn't listening.
Okay, one out of the box idea on a new idea to travel from Salt Lake City to anywhere in Salt Lake City or outside of Salt Lake City without a car.
I'm just gonna say the easy answer, Rio Grande Plan.
Okay, thanks to everybody, and hopefully we do this again.
Add very quickly that UTA's bus route 2 should be switching to route 2A and 2B in April. So it'll mean a doubling in frequency on second stop of route 2. But it'll do some like weird little loop around the hospital and the university. That'll be added, as well as route 205 should be doubling back to 15-minute frequency. It is currently 30. It used to be 15-minute, like before COVID. I think both those things are happening on April change day, so April of this year. So they're really exciting to me because I get like weekend buses right out front of my apartment.
Yeah, I live there next to a 5. She lives on 2.
Yeah, that'll be great.